Hey everyone, I'm Kira, obviously. I've got Dr. Leslie Cary with me today. She is and has run a psychotherapy practice for the past 18 years. She's an adjunct professor at Palm Beach Atlantic University, and she has held several entrepreneurial ventures in her career. Dr. Leslie and we first met last year at a documentary we were a part of, and that's going to be released about 2020 on Amazon Prime. And when we first met, we hit it off. We we have a lot of overlapping interests, and it was just such a pleasure over this past year, just learning with her and growing with her and learning from her. And so I've stolen her to come over to be a facilitator at our Tuscany retreat, September 14th to 21st. We've got 2 seats left for you leaders out there. And she's going to be helping us with this program and really kind of get leaders to reconnect with their passion and their purpose so that they can move out into the world and inspire the people that they need to. When Dr. Leslie and I first met, what really struck me about her was her ability to really connect with people's authentic selves. She has an amazing disposition, and she's really good at what she does. So she's able to clearly identify people's gifts and really seed it out of them. So thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Leslie.
Well, thank you. You didn't have to twist my arm to say, to go to Tuscany. So well, maybe, okay.
No, it was no twisting.
There was no twisting involved.
So, what we were noticing as we're gathering these leaders from around the world to come in was this very particular challenge that's coming up. So we wanted to have this conversation today to share with the community. And the challenge is this: what we're realizing is that for many successful leaders, we're seeing that success does not directly equate to happiness. It doesn't directly equate to fulfillment. It doesn't necessarily equate to even feeling a sense of passion. So, we got into these conversations, and Dr. Leslie had mentioned that she sees this a lot. So I wanted to kind of bring her on and say, or ask for the community, for people on their success journeys, what is it that they should be thinking of and working with or looking at when they want to be able to express or sustain levels of passion or purpose or fulfillment or happiness in the work that they do?
Well, we talk a lot about alignment and flow and what that really means. But I think we generally know that we thrive when we're in alignment, with, our values and our goals, but also like our true essence, right? And my partner, Pam, from one of my newer ventures with Heartfire Academy, she shared with me this beautiful story from the Himba Tribe, somewhere in Africa. And in this tribe, the mom, when she decides that she's gonna have a baby, she goes out into the wilderness and sits in this meditative state and waits to hear the song of her unborn child. And so when she hears the song, she returns back to the village and sings it to the to-be father, and they sing the song throughout her pregnancy. She teaches the song to these midwives, and when the child is born, they sing this child his song. And throughout the child's life, when the child has some major accomplishment, they will gather and celebrate this child's song. But likewise, when the child starts to misbehave or starts to have some challenges, they'll also form a circle around the child and sing him his song. And the idea is that that's not really who you are, and that somehow you've gotten out of alignment with your true song, with your true, your true self, your essence. And so they remind you. And so I feel like in life, we're constantly moving in and out of alignment with our true song.
Right.
And so we find ways in which there's times or seasons of our life where we really are expressing that song and singing it loud and proud. And then other times we're like a little out of tune, right? And so we're constantly trying to find our way back into that alignment. And so when people have reached a certain amount of success and they're singing their song, after a period of time, they're starting not to be able to sing it the same way, even though they're exhibiting the same amount of maybe financial success. The alignment with their essence has come out of alignment a little bit. And the reason being is that we are constantly changing. Even though our song may remain the same, who we are in relationship to that song is constantly changing throughout our lifespan.
That makes so much sense. And, you know, as we navigate the success journey, obviously there's going to be things that comes up, and there's different life events that happen, and you have to pivot and you have to switch, sometimes unexpectedly, to match situations of your current reality, you know.
Right.
However, what I see as well is that there's a certain amount of I would say inner blindness with what our actual songs are. We're just sometimes just trying to navigate the situations and get to our next best steps, right? So in your opinion, or from what you've seen and who you've worked with, how do you help people to recognize what their essence is so that they can consciously get back to that center place, that center point of alignment?
So there's three different things. Like, you know, when you talk about, you know, what's your why, and your why drives you. Well, there's three different components that I really want to hone in on. One is, what is your purpose? Like, you know, if you were to like be sent here on a mission, like, you know, what might that mission have been? And so that becomes a very existential question. But once people have achieved a certain amount of success in their life, in their career, financially, professionally, there is that kind of angst that arises, and that question, if it hasn't been answered, really starts to itch, and people want to know, have I fulfilled my purpose? Am I doing what I came here to do? And so then, you know, how do we figure out what that is? And so then we have to look at, what are your unique gifts? What are your unique skills and talents? And that's one part of it. But the other part then is what are your resources? Like, what do you have at your disposal, or what can you use to create something with the talents that you have? And so we look at, what are your unique gifts and abilities? What resources do you have available to you? And what calls to you in terms of meaning and joy, and to find out what your purpose is.
And that's actually beautiful, because, and I love that we're collaborating on this special project so much, because the one thing that the Passion Center uses is a tool called the Compass 4 system. And that's really to identify what those strengths are, values, interests, ideals, and really as a collective understanding of that, you're able to identify what your talents really are from an authentic level, stripping away the biases and what the world tells you should be or should say, and all of that kind of stuff. So at that stripped down core level, you're able to really identify what that place is, and then matching that place to the value that you can share as a mirror into society is really that kind of collective understanding of where your alignment should be. So we're super excited to be taking these leaders on our journey and disconnecting them from their worlds, and none other than Tuscany, which is that started the Renaissance. So it's really fitting. Yeah. So is there anything, Dr. Leslie, that you want to tell the community about, you know, this venture and what your role in is going to be to help leaders kind of unravel that and find their place of alignment so that they can move out into the world from that center point of gravity?
Well, part of it is in order to find some directions, you have to have two bits of information: where you are and where you want to go. And sometimes people have a clear picture of where they want to go. Sometimes they don't. But more often than not, I find that people don't have a clear picture of where they are. And so really trying to discern where you are, meaning where are you in terms of what you really feel, what you really want, you know, what's the reality? There's this radical acceptance of where you are, not where you'd like to be or where you hope you were, you know, where you like to delude yourself into thinking you are. Hey, where are you?
Yes.
And then, you know, where you want to go. And then from there, we can explore different ways to get there. But, you know, the one thing that keeps coming up is that wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And the resources that are around you right now, and the skills and the talents that you've gleaned throughout your life, are preparing you for exactly this moment, this chapter, this opportunity. And so it's really beautiful to accept that and really believe that you're exactly where you need to be and you're perfectly positioned to really make an impact in the world. And you just gotta, get still, get quiet, and look around and find it and make it happen.
I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Leslie, for taking this time and navigating our community. Guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Dr. Leslie and I will be answering anything that you want. So use this as an opportunity if you are in that place and you're trying to get that balance between success, impact, and passion, and all of those nice juicy flavors of life. So drop them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining on board, guys. Have a great day.
Bye.